when you can, yeah, try for that long-term engagement partnership, multiple campaigns or multiple influencers, so that you can cast a wide net. And the creator, the influencer, has what I tend to say a lot of at-bat opportunities. Because again, yeah, the content piece, algorithm, whatever social media black box might not be a win, and that's okay. So we can try it again.
Welcome to Lay of the Brand, where we talk with the experts on tech marketing, creative, and PR to learn what's new, what's working, and what's next. I'm Peter Jacobs with Merit Group. Continuing our two-part series on cybersecurity, influencer marketing, and PR. Last time we talked about getting started with influencer marketing and how to find the right influencers for your campaign goals. Now we're uncovering how to measure, maximize, and maintain an influencer program that actually gives you the results you're looking for. Once again, I'm talking with Michelle Schaefer, a Merit Group partner who heads the agency's security practice. Robin Campbell-Burt, the CEO of Merit Group's global PR agency partner, Code Red Communications, and John Hammond, principal security researcher at Huntress and content creator and founder of Just Hacking Training, and also one of the top influencers in cybersecurity. Let's pick up from where we left off. Can you give me some examples of influencer marketing working or not working?
Ooh, I have some wild and fun success stories, I think, but maybe it'll be no surprise to everyone. Maybe it will be a surprise. I don't know. But we've seen posts, promos, material, and content that's partnered and sponsored together. Just, hey, hit a home run and go crazy viral when there's a giveaway, when there's a little prize, when there's a little reward, when there's the fun of, hey, share with your friends or repost to enter the raffle, or some things that get a little bit more buzz. It's wild. I don't know what's the temperature on likes or engagement on different platforms, but like LinkedIn, we could see like this weird, obnoxious, like 6,000 likes, 6,000 engagements, crazy things, because folks wanted to be part of that community, that buzz, that fun. And then, yeah, it is going to, lead to a new opportunity for that business and that prospect, and quick interaction, quick engagement with their solution, with their product, with a giveaway, with something fun to let them, work with it. Those, I think, have been awesome, great success stories when you can tap into that in the right way for that community partnership.
Michelle, any examples to share?
Sure. We have done some influencer engagements at Merit Group, and they've all looked a little bit different. So a couple of years ago, we had a mobile security client that wanted to put together kind of an influencer webinar. We were able to pull in a reporter who, of course, cannot be paid, but a well-known reporter friend of ours who happily did the webinar. And then one of our speakers actually is a top influencer, well-known in the mobile security market, and she did want to be paid for it. So, and then we also had, a couple SMEs from the client side. So it was just, again, a one-off engagement, but a way to pull in an individual that already has, a huge following and that kind of brand awareness. So that's one example. A couple of years before that, we did an influencer predictions campaign for a former client of ours. And basically the way we did it was pretty creative. It was right around the holidays. We picked 7 or 8 influencers, went out to them and said, hey, we'd love to get your cyber predictions for next year. And, instead of paying you money, we're going to go ahead and do a $500 charity contribution to the charity of your choice. And all of them said yes. They were all excited to do it. They knew it was for a good cause. And we were able to leverage that content, from a PR perspective, getting it out and pitching it to the media, but also just, allowing those influencers to feel, really kind of highlighted in the media, but also, again, community give back. So, and then both Robin and I helped one of our joint clients just at RSA this year on kind of an influencer panel, breakfast media panel that we did out at RSA. So that was really great. We pulled in a couple of influencers to be paid for on the panel, but then a few influencers were in the room watching it. So it was really great.
Yeah, I'd say I've got three simple examples. One would be client has a recent funding announcement, obviously do the usual, it's announced to the media, everything else. It's a short, sharp announcement that you want to get out the door. And then you just get, say, 3 or 4 influencers. You have a social media post pretty much on LinkedIn, and it goes out on their newsletter. Very, very clear, short message, simple project. The second, you can think about one of the things. This is a real eye opener to me when it was first suggested. But in the same way, you can look at your finance directors or marketing directors or CMOs, CFOs on a fractional basis. You could start thinking about an influencer almost as a fractional evangelist for your organization. And you can then how do we work with this person over a 6-month or a year period and deploy them events, on trade show floors, on webinars, and so on and so forth, without having to hire them as a full-time person. So that's the second option. So you're looking at a bit of a longer-term operation there. And the third one, I would say, is you're publishing a white paper, ebook going out, thought leadership, threat intelligence report, something like that. Get the influencer to do their own analysis of the report. Get their take on it. You've got their credibility going over the top of it, and then that's just shot straight out to their subscribers. So you're going to get much more cut through than if you're just going to release that report yourself.
Yeah, Robin, you just reminded me of another influencer campaign we did for another client, which was more about product and technology validation. We pulled in somebody very well known to basically take their solution, throw all of the malware and threats that they could at it to help, develop a report, which then became a big campaign. We did kind of a white paper with the report. We did a PR push around it. We had that influencer/researcher come out to Black Hat. They did a talk on it together. So we really looked full scope at how to maximize that engagement with that influencer to help validate their technology.
I think that's a really good point to build on, because we look at there's 2 parts to working with an influencer. One is the content creation, the collaboration with them, and obviously, working with people like John, your content then goes through his channels. The second part is, well, how do you integrate that with you as an organization? So is that, are you doing your own email campaigns, pointing people towards the content that you've collaborated with? Do you have your work with the influencer front and center on your website next to the demo flick switch? If you're looking at if you do a live demo, then is that really easy to find as part of the encouragement for then the person to click on book a demo or to engage with that? So there's a really important component to working with an influencer is actually, how do you integrate this and get the maximum ROI by building it into your own marketing channels and marketing campaign?
Let's talk about something that is near and dear to any marketer or PR professional's heart, and that's measurement. There's got to be ROI on this, or why do it, of course. So from the 2 perspectives, from the brand's point of view and by extension, the agency's point of view, and from the influencer's point of view, how do you measure success? John, kick us off.
Well, oh man, I feel bad. I always have to put the little asterisk or star and the disclaimer where sometimes their mileage may vary and all, but you're wrestling with online content, with social media, right? When stuff is swayed by the algorithm and whatever air quotes or fluffy kind of thing, where we don't always know what. You put something into the black box, but what will come out? What will land, what will be well received. So there's a lot of variables, but I think through and through, you're totally on the money in that, hey, it boils down to the metrics, the analytics, the stats. How many folks saw this piece of content, or the impressions, the engagements, the view, the click-through, the conversion rate, et cetera, all the things. That is really part of anything and everything that we can do, whether, again, that's something on social media, whether that's a video, whether that's a webinar, podcast, newsletter, et cetera. Every single time there's some deliverable or something out the door, we want to be getting that reporting back. And I will again say, hey, sometimes that's not the priority. Maybe sometimes that's not the goal for the company or business. It's really cool, honestly, when folks tend to say, look, we just want to get the word out. We just want to showcase this for the public because we think it's really cool. And those are good things. That is, again, really likened and well received within the markets and the audience. But
so it's not always about, I saw this, I interacted with it, and then I did something after that. Sometimes it's just, I saw this, I interacted with it.
Totally. And I know that maybe that's a hard pill to swallow. I don't know, but it's like your call to action can be wildly different for what you want. That's one of the coolest things with influencer marketing and all this, right? Is it what's the call to action really look like? But I am cognizant and really thinking that there are a lot of people now in the equation. You've got the brand, you've got the influencer, and you've got the all audience receiving this. So trying to keep everybody happy and all that process, it's still a good thing to do.
Yeah, I can jump in here. Just I read a recent report. It was from LinkedIn. They did a survey of about 3,000 marketers, and 94% of global B2B marketers said that influencer marketing is among the most effective strategies for driving direct sales. And I don't think the numbers lie here. I think it's true when you think about the click through rates, the UTMs, the promo codes that you can track. Same report, 2/3 or 63% said that their marketing strategy is incomplete without influencer and creator partnerships. So I keep looking at these reports and I think it's echoing what we're seeing in cyber. And I think it has to be part of your recipe for success.
I, I'd like to. I was going to come in on something here. So I don't know quite who said this. I did not say this originally, but that I think the fact is that this person said that half of your marketing budget is being wasted. The difficulty is that you don't know which half. So, direct attribution to any particular channel or technique, especially in B2B, when you think of the length of the sales process that happens, it's not an immediate buy. So what is the thing you're doing in marketing that actually tips them over the edge towards it? It's a combination of things. So I think there's always difficulty in having a direct attribution to particular marketing activity that we have to bear in mind. And I think that for those looking for influencers to be the silver bullet thing, finally we have a way to directly attribute sales revenue to a marketing channel. It's not going to happen. So I think we have to bear that in mind. And I think like John and Michelle have been saying, we measure it in similar ways to how we measure other types of marketing. So it's click-through rates, it's conversion, are they going to a particular landing page following that conversation? What I always advise clients is they should be doing aided and unaided brand awareness surveys to the market, going direct to what end users actually think about your organization, rather than a lot of the proxy measurements that we use in marketing and PR today as well. But I just think it's a no-brainer. Having said all of this, it is a no-brainer that working with an influencer, you're getting that direct cut through. If you have a system working with an influencer where you have over a 50% open rate on the content they're sending their audiences, you know that's getting through, and it's going to have a much bigger effect than if you're just sending out content that's unlooked for and unwanted.
May I dance with this for one last bit? Because I did want to sprinkle in like, look, we've seen this really, really work. Like we've seen this win, we've seen this be an absolute success and Grand Slam. And that's like one of the most exciting and enthralling things. Like when, again, creator, influencer, and branding company come together and be like, hey, that worked. That was awesome. We found like a real gold mine here, and we want to do more. We want to keep up this long-term partnership, and I keep falling down on that word partner and partnership, but like that's really what I want it to be, and I think it should be, because when we win, like when I win for content piece goes viral, really lands and does some great numbers, hey, that means that they win. And when they win, I win. It's so cool to see it be a success. But I'm really glad a lot of the conversation we've already been having here is like, yeah, try it, do it, and you'll see when it wins, it'll win.
Well, let's follow that thread and talk about how in-house marketers and PR teams can maximize results, and also how influencers can help maximize results. Should you work with more than one influencer? Should you be focused on certain channels in a campaign as opposed to the other? And obviously, A/B testing can tell you a lot right there. What kinds of content should you be developing? I'm going to throw all that out to the team here, and hopefully somebody will figure it out for me.
Well, obviously, hey, there was a wide array and little buffet assortment that you had there, but I don't, I can't give, yeah, the 1,000% accurate, certain, precise, and correct answer all the time, and it varies again. But one trend that I think that does really stick out and would be the takeaway that I offer here is when you can, yeah, try for that long-term engagement partnership, multiple campaigns or multiple influencers so that you can cast a wide net. And the creator, the influencer, has what I tend to say a lot of at bat opportunities. Because again, yeah, the content piece, algorithm, whatever social media black box might not be a win, and that's okay. So we can try it again. And then you get more exposure, you get more folks being able to catch, oh, another opportunity, another placement for you, your company, and your brand. And another one could really be a winner. And you get to do it again and then again. So keep that long term, again, reminder, exposure, and give the creator more and more opportunities to hit a home run.
I think it all really starts with understanding your goals up front. I have had conversations with clients where they're like, oh, influencer marketing sounds cool. You know, Merit Group, what do you know about it? But then I ask them, okay, here's what it is, but what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And when they can't answer that, I feel like maybe they're not ready, or maybe they just need more of an understanding of the ROI and the benefits of a creator partnership. So there still is, to some extent, some education that's happening amongst marketers that think it sounds cool, but they just aren't sure where to start. And I think it's us going back and asking the tough questions. If you do this, what do you want to accomplish? Are you trying to increase brand awareness? Are you a startup that nobody knows about? Do you have a technology that needs validation? It's really asking those tough questions up front as, the agency, to understand what the goals are of the program. And then from there, we can put together, influencers that would align with the campaign and, would be a great creator brand fit, and then try it out.
I'd have two things I'd mention. One is to prioritize expertise over reach. So it's not about just how many likes and followers and those numbers that matter. That they have a part to play. It's actually, is this expert actually in tune with who you are as a company, what is, and the tool that you're trying to go to market with, and also the people that who will use this tool. I think prioritize expertise over reach. And I think the second thing would be to have the mantra of collaborate, don't control. An influencer is not just a channel for you to go, right, here's the ebook, here are the key messages, we're going to bang, and you want that influencer to have your voice. The value is that the influencer has their own voice, and you have to collaborate with that, and just treat them with that level of respect in order for that to come through.
All right, I will torture a sports metaphor. Here's our last at bats. Thank you very much. What's the one thing that you would want a marketer or PR pro to remember about being successful with influencer marketing? Robin?
I think it's about the relationship, and it's about a long-term partnership. I think that's the most important thing. And it's influencers once you have the right ones, they've already got the following. They've proven that what they say carries weight in the industry, and they've got a lot of people who engage with them. So actually, I think play the long game with them and build a relationship with them in order for you to become as credible with the target audience you want to reach.
Michelle?
Get your budgets ready, my friends, because you're going to need it. And I joke, but I'm actually kind of serious because, I'm recommending to our clients get 20,000 ish. If you have more, great, ready per quarter for creator partnerships and engagements. And again, every, influencer has their own media kit, their own pricing. Some of them may come in as low as 4,000 for a campaign. Some of them may go up as high as 15,000 or 20,000, depending on what you want to do. Prepare for, if you don't have it now, prepare for next year, as budgeting season will be upon us in Q3 to get those dollars ready, because I do think, you should try this out. I think it's a great way to drive the leads, that kind of marketing flow that you're looking for, and just really build your brand in other ways.
I think I'm going to come in again because you've triggered me, Michelle, in a good way. I think, the budgets are really important, but it's actually, don't just think you're going to sign that check over and then go, right, that's it done. The influencer is going to come back with all the goods and it's going to be job done. You have to be partnering the whole journey with them, thinking about how this content is going to play out. What are the questions you could have in a podcast like this? And actually, how do you want to answer the questions? Because you might want to do a cut and paste of that short clip on your video and broader marketing. So you need to be thinking it all through to the nth degree and what's going on. And if you can't do that, or don't have the resource in your own in-house team, that's when wonderful people like Michelle and perhaps myself can come in to provide that support.
And John, your perspective?
Ooh, well, it's funny. I was thinking, I know you gave me an inch, Peter, and I'll take a mile, because I was thinking, I wonder, I have 2 points, but then I'm really glad Robin already swooped in to grab another. The last couple things that I'd try to squeeze in. I'm really, really glad that Michelle and Robin were already discussing, look, it's not always about the subscriber size or the subscriber count or that total audience that maybe an influencer has. And the reason that I harp on that is because while sheer and influencer online clout tends to vary, whether it's 100 followers or subscribers or thousands or millions, right? When you look at that number, even if it's something like 100, that might really map to a conference or trade show or live event that you as a business and company might already be attending. And the ROI and the conversion there may or may not be what you expect because you're sitting at a booth, because, hey, you're just sitting on the corner waiting for inbound to come to you. But when you get the influencer that could very well be at, if we say small, again, air quotes, for 100 or subscribers or 1,000 or whatever, look, that trust is there. We've already all discussed that. So one of those potential individuals could very well lead to that conversion in a sale, which might mean for you as a business, that could be like 6 figures worth of new gained logos and revenue and income. So that's just one. But when you fan that out to the 100s, the 1,000s, the 1 millions, that's really cool. So the second thing I'd sprinkle in on that, and just understanding and knowing, it's not always about the size of that audience kind of count for the influencer. The influencers, if they're matured enough in sort of this work and this content creation that they do, they know that too. And I think that ties well into kind of Michelle's nugget on a budget, knowing what's appropriate for the work that you all do together. But let me dovetail into some other quick thing. We were talking a lot earlier about, hey, some of the best that we could get for these influencers are the folks that are still practitioners, that are doing this for their day job. They're the subject matter experts. So let me squeeze into, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I know I'm verbose, but this is probably the biggest thing. We were talking about, look, that influencer is a person. It's not this big cog machine, well-oiled process and team of folks. And if they're still working their job to be a part of this thing, you got to have, that trust and creative control. But a big thing is the understanding. Vacation keeps up in the way. Things that tie them one way or the other. So I keep falling on that word, but it is a partnership through and through, and it's person to person. So you can maximize that and make that the best thing, but go in with grace. It's the best I think we could all do.
And that wraps up our special series on cyber influencer marketing and PR. Many thanks to John Hammond, Robin Campbell-Burt, and Michelle Schaefer for a great conversation. And thank you for joining us. To download your copy of the Merit Group Code Red Cyber Influencer Survey Report, click on the link on this episode's show notes page. Lay of the Brand is brought to you by Merit Group, an integrated strategic communications firm that blends the best of PR, marketing, and creative to help our clients tell their stories and build business. Got a topic suggestion or want to share feedback? Subscribe to Lay of the Brand on your preferred podcast platform and leave us a review. And please spread the word and tell your friends and colleagues to tune in as well. To learn more about Merit Group and the show, check out layofthebrand.com.